Hello and welcome to this webinar. This session will cover how we can use the lobby feature in IFS in an efficient and simple way. My name is Wälsjö and I've been working on developing lobbies for about 2 years now, mostly in IFS Cloud, but also in earlier version of IFS. If you have any questions or need more information about lobbies, feel free to contact me. You will get all the contact information that you need in the end of this session. And this webinar will focus on how we can simplify the display of data in the system for the end users and gather relevant data and information in one place. And the agenda for today looks like this. First off, I'm gonna give you some introduction to IFS Lobby in Cloud and what it is, what a lobby actually is, and the pros of using the lobbies for the end users. I'm gonna give you some examples on how to build elements and the process of building an element. Gonna go into the demonstration of a ready-made lobby to give you an example of how deep and complex a lobby page can be. And then we have some tips and tricks during the whole webinar itself. Yeah. Okay, so what is a lobby? Yeah, lobby in IFS Cloud is a concept that allows you to create and customize pages that show relevant information for your role, department, or the user itself in a simple and focused way. You can use lobbies to make things simple and focused for the end user. And the ERP are complex systems, and most users do not have the deep knowledge of the application, where and how to find things, and what and when they need to do things in the system. But with a lobby, you can provide a much stronger guidance for these users, clearly showing them what to focus on, what needs attention, where to find the things, and what they need to do. They also provide an easier way to monitor and manage. With a lobby, you can provide an easy way to get an overview of the performance of a process or a part of the business, and can quickly draw attention to problem areas or where there are exceptions to deal with within this system. A lobby also provides the increase of productivity. Users spend a fair amount of their time navigating around in the system, finding different types of information. But with a lobby, they will instantly get a complete view of the things that they care about and don't risk missing things they should care about. And the result is minutes, if not hours, saved. And a lobby page consists of one or more elements that display data in a pre-formatted way. Each element is connected to a data source that retrieves data from IFS Cloud or an external source like Power BI. You can also add links to other pages within IFS Cloud, or you can add links to an external website. You can also configure your element to show the data in different ways, such as bar charts, pie charts, lists, and so on. And a lobby is completely built into IFS and does not require any external design tools. So that's pretty good. And now I'm going to go into IFS Cloud itself, and then I'm gonna show you how the element designer, the data source designer, and the lobby page designer look and feel, and go through the settings within these areas. So now we're going to go into the IFS Cloud, and I will show you the element designer, data source designer, and also lobby page designer, or the lobby page and the properties there. So I will close this presentation for now, and we go directly into the IFS. So this is the landing page of IFS Cloud when you have logged in. And we have in the navigation bar here a search bar, and we want to search on lobby. And here we get everything lobby related. And the two in the bottom, we have data source, lobby data source designer, and we have the lobby element designer. And these two are the ones that we are going to go through today, and also the lobby itself, but more on that later. So I think we will start off with the element designer. And when you go into the element designer, you will get this view. It's pretty empty right now, but we will get some more information here soon. At start, you will see like the plus sign here and the import. You can export and import the lobbies between environments. If you have like an config environment or develop environment, and then like a prod one, you can import or export and import between the environments. And if you see at the left here, we have a search bar. You can search for the element you have created by the name of it, but you can also look in the list here. So if, for example, I have done a counter element, now it's 1400 here, so I don't want to look through the list, the whole list here. It will take me ages to go through them, but I can easily find it by searching for the element that I've been creating. But if we press on the plus sign here, we get a tons of different elements that we can create. We're not going to go through every one of these because we don't have time for that. If I had like 5-6 hours, I will easily go through these. But every one of these have different type of configs. So you have different settings on every one of these elements. So if you have if you take list element as an example, you see a kind of settings. You see the kinds of settings you have here. But if we go to, for example, a counter, you see different kinds of settings. So it would take me this whole night to explain for you every one of those element settings. But I'm gonna go through some of them later when we're actually doing the element. So now it's just for show. But what we have here, we have a analog GOG, we have bar charts, counter, funnel chart, line chart. We have a link list. We have a list itself. And I think list is the most common that I've used, at least. because when you have a list, you can also do like a filter, a filter element to filter on. For example, you want to filter um, the lobby on a specific status or a specific work type or a specific resource or something like that. You can put a list with those statuses or work types, and whatever you press on that in the list, you can then put it as a parameter, and more on the parameters later. But I think that's the most used element that I've been using, at least. We have a matrix, we have some pie charts. This is the one that you connect with the Power BI. We have an analytics report generator as well, so you can generate a report from the actual lobby. We have a radar shot. We have state GOG. We have the image slash text. So here you can just put in images or texts if you want. And we have the web content. So here, for example, you can have google.com or something like that. You can have a web-based clock or the week, or yeah, you can play around whatever you want with this. You just need an URL and connect the URL to this element, for example. Yeah, so that's all the elements that are in the system and that you can use. And if we press the cross here, where my mouse is, you get these three options. So here you can easily go to like the data source designer or lobbies. So if I go to the lobby or the data source designer, we're getting this view. There's not much data here for now, and I'm just gonna show you what we can do and how we can search for stuff. So yeah, you see we have 3,957 SQL data sources right now. So here an important thing here is to uh, like make a unique naming and have a unique naming standard. For example, your company name and then what the data source is actually getting for data. But more on that later. Here we have some options. We have the plus sign, and here we have two options, the SQL and the projection. I have in almost every data source I have been creating, I've been using the SQL because it's more customizable. It's more, yeah, you can do more with SQL because it's an SQL, so you can like easier do the where clause. You can do order by, group by, and then also in the columns you can do like case when, you can do a count, you can do yeah, the possibilities are huge, and you can also like if you want to get information from another view, you can easily use the get functions that are available for that view, for example. But okay, so we have the plus sign, we have the edit to edit the data source, we can delete, and we also have the import if you want to import a data source. But if we press the plus sign here, we get this view. Here we choose the name, test, for example, for this test data source. And here we have the view. Okay, so we need to know what view we are getting the data from within the system. So the easiest way I'm gonna show you in a bit is to go to the page that you want to get the data from. And I have prepared for this. So I have prepared this page, the active work orders page. because that's the view that I'm want to get the data in this data source. And to get this support console or the debug console, you have under your profile, you have something called debug, and you have the debug console here. Now it says disabled because I have already enabled it, but you press this one and you will see this pop-up window coming here. And you see here directly in the under the page info tab, you will see you have the view active separate overview, and you can easily just like copy uh, cop copy this, and we go back to the data source designer and we can paste it in. So now you see it works fine, because if we, for example, did this and you see unable to find the active separate over V, so we need to have the correct view. You don't, else you don't see any data, or you can't use data source. But okay, so here we have the where, and in the where, that's where all the magic in the data source or the data wise happens. Here we put those parameters that we want the data source to actually view if we want to like filter on something. And it's kind of important to filter on specific things here. I usually say that it's better to have different lobby for different departments, for example, than they using the same one and have all the data in the same data source, because the performance is can be bad. And I usually say that element shouldn't take more than 5 seconds to load, else I think it's bad performance. Uh, but I will show you how we write this later when we're actually doing the data sources. We have the order by, if you want to order by yeah, for example, state. If you want the states to be in a specific order, you want the first state new to be in the top and the last one is finished, for example. You can order by here in the data source. We also have the group by, and that's important if you want to do like a count on how many work orders are there in under the uh, under the under the status released, for example, or the status work started or finished. You need to put uh, the state here, and I will show you in a bit how we see the columns here. So depending on what view you have, you will have different columns here. So you see here when we press view columns, you're getting this pop-up. You will have a ton of columns to choose among, and this is all the columns that are included in the view you want to get the data from. And for now, just for purpose, I will choose the work order number and press OK. And you see it, if you double click it, it will get to the work order number here in the selected columns. And OK, and we see that the column is added here under the columns. We can just have a quick preview, and we will see that we are getting data here for sure. We have some information as well. We have which component the data source should be connected to. We have the author. We have some keywords like work orders. I don't know. Yeah, you can put in whatever you want here. It's a free text field. And we have a descriptive text as well if you want to describe the purpose of the data source as well. But okay, we can cancel this. and we can actually go to actual lobby page. So I have prepared one lobby page here where I will show some settings. We have the wrench in the corner, right corner. If we press this one, we will toggle the lobby toolbar, so to say. So if we toggle this one, you will get the toolbar bar under the title. And we have the title here. We have the under the title here, we have the edit button. We have a delete. I never used that in my life. I have sometimes pressed it by accident, and I get panicked. But don't get panicked, because it will like come a um, pop up here that says confirm that you wish to delete this lobby page, and you just press cancel and nothing happens. So we have the duplicate. If you want to do a duplicate on the whole lobby, you do when you do a duplicate, you do a duplicate on the lobby page, not all the elements and the data sources, because then the new lobby page, the duplicated one, is going to use the same element and the same data sources as this one. And that can be good to have in mind, because if you want to do another if you want to duplicate this and do it for another department or another company within the system, you need to create new elements and data sources as well. But we have a better solution for that. And I think when you export it, you can export the whole site. You can export the whole page. You get all the data sources, you get all the elements in there, and you can export it and then import it again. Because then it's a whole new page, and you have the same you don't have the same elements or data sources as this one anymore. So I think that's a more that's a faster and more efficient way to do it. But we also have some page properties. And if we go in this real quick, we can see that here we can edit the layout as the page title, for example, work order management. I can change the name to whatever I want here. We can also do the auto refresh on the lobby if we want to have, for say, 60 seconds refresh interval. Then the lobby will refresh every 60 seconds. We also have the information. We have author, we have the component, we have some keywords as well as we have in the data sources. We have a more descriptive text if we want to. And here we come to a real interesting part. Here we can set on the parameters that are available in the lobby. We can set default values if we don't want the user to have if we want the user not to see some kind of values, for example. And uh, the best part here, I think we can set a default value for reported by here, for example, because if you have a lobby and you only want the user to see the data that is connected to them. Let's say that. So then we can do like this. We can hashtag person ID hashtag, for example. Then the lobby, when we press save here, the lobby will automatically filter on my person ID in the system. So when I save this, we see directly that the reported by equals to Wal, and that's my person ID. And you see that the data in the lobby itself, it got updated. You saw that as well, and you see here in the under the work orders, you see that everyone here is connected to me. So this is a good way to make personalized lobbies without doing one lobby per person, to say so. Yeah, and that's it for now. I think I have gone through the most things that I want here. And I think we actually are ready to start building some lobbies. I will show you how to create some elements and some data sources, and I think I will do this kind of lobby that we have here, but I will show the process of it, and it will go in a pretty fast pace just to show how easy you can create lobby pages. And this is just a simple example of what it can look like when we build. And today's focus will be on the maintenance module in IFS, but however, it's possible to build lobbies for all the modules in IFS. This is just as an example. Yeah, so next thing is that we start to build the actual lobby. So the first thing we are going to do is to navigate us to the My Lobbies page. Under My Lobby page, we get an overview of every lobby that we have in the system, and every lobby that the user are connected to or have access to. And we can search for whatever lobby we want. The search here does also search on the keywords that we have on the lobby page. But we're gonna do a new one, so we press on the new button here, and we get to choose the page title. I want to have my initial and then work order management, like that. And we have the author, that's me. It's going to be there automatically because it's me that are actually doing this lobby. We have the component, we have the keywords, and we have a descriptive text. And all we need to do is press save, and we come directly into the lobby. Here we have nothing to show yet, but we are gonna make our first element, and the only element we're gonna do on this in this webinar, because it will take too long to build a whole new lobby. So I will show you the process of how we are building a list element, and to list them in a correct way, and like show the data in a nice and easy way. So we can't actually do anything here right now. So the thing we're doing now is going to the element designer. So we need to search on lobby, and at the bottom we have the lobby element designer, as I showed you before. And now we're gonna press the plus button, and we're gonna press the list one. And here we wanna have a name standard. So whatever name I have on the element, I also want in the data source, because they are connected to each other. So I will do like this, my initial and work order list, because I'm gonna do a list of work orders that are in the system. So we have the name, we also have a title like work orders, and then you see the work orders pop up directly here in the element preview. We have a width and height. We're gonna change the width to 4 and the height to 2, so we get some more information. We see more information. Example, if we have a long descriptive text on the work order, we want to see the whole thing. We don't want to cut the text off. And now we can't actually do anything more here, because we don't have created a data source yet. So now we need to save this one. And a thing I also do is we want to copy the name of the element, and we're gonna put it on the data source as well. So when we press the cross here, we get this menu again, and we go to the lobby data source designer. And here we already have a data source, but we're gonna create a new one, an SQL, and we wanna paste the name of the element in here. So the name of the data source also going to be this. We want to select a view as well, and we have the active separate view like this, and you see, oh, this I spelled wrong. It's separate. So now you see it's correct because we didn't get any error message, and this is white and not red. And here we're gonna put some coding. I have prepared some coding for this, and this is a coding that will create the parameters of the lobby that we want to use. So here, for example, we have the NVL obstate that like NVL obstate, and this is the way we create a parameter in the actual lobby. So what this does is that we are able to filter on the obstate in the lobby and so on. So here we can filter on a specific work order number, specific work type ID, who's reported by, and so on. What we also want to do is to add a decode in the order by, ascending decode, because we want the obstate to be categorized. So we have at the top of the list, we have the new ones, then the under preparation, prepared, released, and so on. And now we also need to choose those columns that we want. So if we press view columns, we get this pop-up. We want to search on the columns that we want. We want the work order number. We want the description. We can take the long description, and we want the obstate. We also want the reported by and the work type ID. So now we have several columns here that we want to see data from. And if we press the preview button here, we see that we get some data in these columns here. So that indicates that it works fine. Or else if I want, this is just for show purpose, I can preview it now, and it will automatically say that could not preview element, make sure data source is configured correctly and view is existing. That indicates that something's wrong with the data source. And if we put that back and preview it again, it will work perfectly fine. So we have also a button for the parameters. If we press that one, you see that we have obstate and the value released. Then we will only get the work orders that are in the status released. So if I put this away and press OK and preview again, then we get some more data here. So we get the prepare, released, work request, fault report. We get everything. And that's what we want. But this is just for test purposes and see if the parameters work, because they're gonna listen to the whole lobby, and that's what we want. So if we save this one, and we can copy the data source name, and we want to go back to the element designer and configure our element that we created before. So if we go to the lobby element designer, you can search on the element, and you see you get only one and not 1400. And yeah, so that's a nice thing. So you don't need to scroll through 1400 elements. And what we want to do is we want to edit this one, and we want to add the data source to the element. So if I just press, if I just paste it in here and then press on the actual data source that I want, and now we have selected the data source for this element. And we have the selected columns or select columns. You press that one and you see that every column that we have in the data source that we selected in the data source is also presented here. So what we're doing is we can just double click on every one of these, and they will go to the selected columns. If we want to change the order, we want the work type ID at the top, for example, or at the right next to the work order number, we can just choose among the arrow up and down here, and then we can press OK. What we can do now is we can preview the element and see that, okay, we're getting some data here. That's good. But there are some design questions here, and we have the formatting tab down here, and we can show column headers. Then you see that, okay, we actually now see what data it is connected to. This thing we also can do is we can change the display name. So if we want it to stand work order number here instead for work new, we can change that. We can take away the ID from work type, and we can take away long from description, only get description, and we can change this to status, just to make it easier for the end user, because this is the database names, and you may not know what the ob state is if you don't work with the database. So now we can save this one, or actually we're gonna do some navigation as well. So we have the navigation tab down here. This is like an important part of an element, because this what this does is that when we don't have a navigation, you can't navigate through the system. So I wanna, when I press one of those work orders here, I want to go to that work order. So I have a pre-written navigation here, and that I will explain. So what this does is that we want to go to a page. We want to go to the page active work orders, and it's a list one. So we get the work order in a list view. What we also want to do is we want to filter when we're actually clicking on some of those work order rows here. We want to filter on the work order number, so we just get the one we are clicking on. So if I save this one now, and we go to we copy the name again, and we go back to the lobby. This one, and we press the wrench, we press the edit button, and we search and find our element that we just created, and we press on the element. Then we see that, yeah, okay, so now it's presented here, and press save. Yeah, so now we have the element in the lobby page, and that's how easy it is. But there's one thing you see here that, okay, so this does not look good. That's why the work order number are a number. That's why it's got it's to the left and not to the right. But what we can do, I will show you real quick. If we go into the element, then we go into the data source, we can actually add another column here with a null value, and call this separator like this. We save it. We go back to the element. We click edit, and we want to add the separator to the selected columns, and we want to put it between the work order number and the work type ID, and press OK. Now we see, okay, this does not look good either, but we can take away the display number so we don't see it, and then we can change the width to like 3, and we save it. We go back to the lobby page, and now we see that, okay, so now there are some space between a work order number and work type. That's an easy way to do some separates between the columns. But okay, so now we want to check if the navigation works itself. So what we can do here is we can press on the work order number, and you see, okay, so when we navigated, you see that, okay, so the work order number equals to 20, and we get one work order in here. We can press another one and see, okay, so 16, we can see what have it search on. Yeah, so it's 16. Yes, and that's the process of building an element and add it to a lobby page. I'm now going to show the rest of the page and a full page that I've been creating for this webinar. And as they do in the kitchen shows, I have now prepared a finished lobby page with this element included. So we're heading to the lobby page now over here, and we have this work order management that I've created for this purpose. And we start off with at the top with the links. We can have links internally in IFS or external to other sites like google.com or whatever you want. But we also have this reset lobby link, and I will show you how that works in a bit. Next, we have the filters. We have two filters here that we can see. We have a filter that filters on the state of the work order, and we have the work type. We can filter on the work type. Further down, we have the results, and here we have the same kind of data, but viewing in different ways. So here we have the list view that we see every work order in the list, and here we have work orders in state in a bar chart, and it can look like this. And then we also have the work orders in a pie chart with the status as well. And how the filter works, you just press on the state that you want to filter the lobby on. So everything is listening on each other in this lobby. That's the whole idea of creating the filter list. So now we see that, okay, so now we only see the work request in the state element. The numbers here decreased a bit, and if you add these numbers together, it will be 79. We have different work orders here. We see that the ob state here is only work request in all of those work orders. The bar chart shows only the work request bar, and the pie only shows work request as well. So this is a way to filter the lobby and make the whole lobby listen to the state work request. And if we take it further, we can also filter on the work type at the same time. So if we want to do the preventative, I can press that one as well. And now you see the work order have updated, or the filters have updated. So the work request is now 12 as the preventative. We have only 12 work orders here, and you can see that we have 12 work orders here and here as well. So now this is to drill down on the work orders that you have in the lobby, because it can fast be a lot of data to handle. So this is a way to make it easier for the end user to filter down via the filter elements and get the correct data that the end user wants. So you can have more filter elements here as well. For example, you can have on what maintenance organization the work order is connected to, and so on. But now the reset lobby link here, if we press this one, it resets the lobby directly. So when the end user wants to do a new search, you can only just press this reset lobby link, and the parameters go away. So now it doesn't filter on anything, and you can do the filtering again. So now it's just the fault reports, for example. Yes, and now I'm gonna show you another example, a ready-made demonstration of a lobby that I've created for a customer. If we go to the other tab here, we have this operation planner lobby that focus on the task level of a work order. And we have the links as well as the previous one. We have the reset lobby and some other links to other parts of IFS. We have this main organization mandatory filter as well, because if we have one that are mandatory, we can't see anything in the lobby before we have filtered on the main organization, because it can fast be really bad performance if we want to get all the data at once. So we have done this element mandatory, so we don't need to load all the data at once and do main organization per main organization. But we can go through the lobby a bit more. We have some more filters here, so we can filter on the status, the category for the work type, priority, work type itself, actual object site, and then on the work order as well. And here in the results, we have a lot of different counter elements. So these kind of elements are just counting the number of work tasks that are under the search in these data sources. So here, for example, we have a task ground fault that have a deadline no later than 7 days. We have the work steps were released and work started status, for example. And this is to show how on a deep level you can go and how a detailed level you actually can get data and search on data in one lobby page. We also in the bottom here have a list of every work task we filtering on. So we can start by filtering on one of those these main organization. We can take this one, and we see here in the parameters that we have filtered on this main organization, and we get data directly here. So we have a total of 145 work tasks laying under this maintenance organization then. So here we get some numbers now, and we see that we have some new tasks that are in the status released, 37 of them. And we have not assigned the task yet, that we have 143 of, and so on. So this is a good way to get a quick view of how the data is handled in the system. And we also get the list of every work task that we have. We can filter more and say, for example, that we want to filter on the work started. We will only want the tasks that are in work started, and we only want the preventative ones. And you see that the lobby, the whole time we're filtering, it will update and listen to every else lobby element in this lobby. And we have different kind of data here now. And the list is quite much shorter than it was before then. So yeah, this is mostly to show you how detailed you can go in a lobby page, and the complexity of it. And I can say that this lobby took a long time to come to its final present, because the customer needs to know what they want to see, and know what data that is important to them. And now we're going back to the PowerPoint presentation, and we will do some more information and a little summary. So I'm going to go to the PowerPoint presentation again. Let's see. And here we are at the effective lobby creation. And I'm gonna talk a bit about the importance of involving the end user in the process while building the lobbies for the customer. And I think you always should include the end users in this case to that are going to use the lobby. And it can be hard in the beginning of a project because the users don't know what they want to see or how they want to see it, if they have never been used IFS before. And I usually do like this, that I set up example lobbies for the customer to test and play around with. And then when the end users have started to use the system more frequently, they will come up with new things that they want to be included in the lobby. Therefore, it's important to tell them that they should think about what data they want to have easy access to, and when they are navigating around in the system. So make them remember that the potential of lobbies are huge and the possibilities are endless while creating lobbies. And another thing is another important part while developing lobbies is that you need the customer to test the lobby frequently to make sure that you have connected the right data and that functionality working as expected for the customer. And we also have the time estimates for building the lobbies. This one is kind of hard to answer because it requires several iterations from the customer regarding testing and changes until the lobby is completely finished. But I usually say that lobbies are never finished because the customer always comes up with new things that they want to be included in the lobby or things that they want to change. Therefore, it's difficult to say an exact estimate of the time that it takes. It also depends on how good the specification from the customer is, as sometimes the customer doesn't really know what they want until the things are in place and can be tested. So now we're going to do a bit of summary of what we have talked today. And the first thing is the benefits of building lobbies for the end users or the customer. And the lobby feature in IFS Cloud simplifies data display, helps the user focus on essential tasks, enhances the monitoring and management, and increase productivity by providing quick access to relevant information that the end user needs to see and needs to take care about in the system. We have also gone through the process of creating some lobby elements and customizing the various elements like charts, lists, and tables that display data in a pre-formatted way. And the process include setting up data sources, the configuring the elements, and iterating based on user feedback. And now we're going into the importance of the involving of the end users. And I think it's a crucial part while building a lobby page because their input help tailor the lobby to their needs, ensuring that it provides the most relevant data and functionality that they need. Continuous feedback from the user is essential for ongoing improvements. And we have also had ready-made this demonstration where I showed you one of the customer lobbies I have built, showcasing the feature and the potential for customization and how deep and detailed a lobby can be. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening to me this hour. Hope I didn't bore you. And please contact me if you have any questions or want to know more about lobbies and lobby building. You have my email here on the screen, or my LinkedIn profile will be linked down below this video. And we will also gonna gather all the questions we get together and send them out with an answer in an email to all of you. So please send in some questions. But thanks once more, and hope you had a great time. I did. So see you next time. Thanks.